I have prioritized putting joy on my calendar.
Yeah.
I have so much work to do and so many children. And essentially, I'm always like, no one is putting joy on my calendar if I don't put it on myself.
This is Big Dink Energy, the pickleball podcast that's half insight, half nonsense, and all entertainment. If you love pickleball, don't take yourself too seriously and think a little trash talk makes the game better, welcome home. This is the place where life and pickleball intersect. We celebrate the chaos, call out the nonsense, and put the fun back in dysfunction. You're either in or you're out. And if you're still listening, you're in. So let's go. Big Dink Energy starts now. I hope you're here for a good time, but not a long time. This is the official podcast of Pickleball. I see a lot of eyes rolling in the room already.
First, let me tell you about Dink and Dash. It's a pickleball app, but not one of those stat-heavy, take-yourself-too-seriously apps. This is for the people who play for fun. Rec night chaos, random partners, the games you actually remember. You log your memories, tag your pickle pals, earn badges, and keep track of the courts you visit. It's free, there's no ads, no upsells, and no weird pop-ups. If you've ever said, wait, why were we laughing so hard last week? This is for you. Just search Dink and Dash in the App Store or Google Play.
I've had a couple weird pop-ups.
Yeah, you have.
LimeWire, take it away. So I thought this week we would talk about, you guys do a lot of tournaments. I've been in some tournaments. You do
Notice
a lot of tournaments.
Notice you didn't say win.
Yeah.
No.
But I thought it was important for people who haven't been in a tournament, or maybe you have been in a tournament, you've been in a good one or a bad one. Let's talk about what that is. What makes tournaments, what it takes a good tournament to a great tournament, and what could turn you off from a tournament, things that they get wrong that would, make you not want to do the tournament again.
That's good. We've been to some good ones. We've been to some not so good ones.
Yes.
So I would say first and foremost, at least for rec level, let's talk like rec level. I'm not talking about PPA. Okay.
Right.
We're talking single elimination
Oh.
because that sucks. We drove an hour and a half, didn't even really know how to play at that point, and
you paid to be there.
We paid to be there. Single elimination, played these two tennis high school kids and literally got out in 5 minutes.
11-0.
So yeah, it was terrible. Now, granted, we were not good, but it's so much more fun when you have more games to play.
Yeah.
Yes.
So round robin, I like that.
Valid.
For me, I think one of the things, and this goes for everybody, but especially for the ladies though, but a good bathroom situation.
Yes.
Closed
bathrooms.
Closed bathrooms
100%.
or, just clean bathrooms.
Clean bathrooms, yeah, absolutely.
Have, if you want clean bathrooms, have Buc-ee's sponsor your pickleball tournament.
Right, for
They
sure.
do a really good job with that.
Yeah.
I would say one of the main things for me is that the people who get on the podium go home with something.
Absolutely.
I think that that's very integral when you get on there and you have this achievement.
Yeah, you should walk away with something.
Yes, 100%. Whether
And
it's a medal.
Medals are not that expensive.
Go get that jewelry.
Right. And you're right. You've paid to be there. You won something. And obviously, it's also good for the tournament host.
Yes.
You're going to get Instagram. You're going to get all of those photos. So it's great marketing for the people putting on the tournament to have people walk away with it. But honestly, we did the Dink for Dementia.
That was so much fun.
At the Waco Tennis Center. And first of all, amazing place. Great organization.
They did phenomenal.
It was so well organized. And the medals were so nice. It had the Dink for Dementia on it. It was heavy. It was purple and gold. It was beautiful.
Yes.
And, I felt like, I achieved something and I got
what color was
something.
yours?
Mine was purple.
But you got what place?
Oh, I got third.
Yes. You and Carrie got bronze.
You are very quickly becoming the third place queen.
I am.
Very quickly, you're going to have
3 out of
to...
3, baby.
First place in marriage. She won the top prize in marriage. I'll just let y'all know.
I'm just saying it was so well organized. And that brings me up to another thing. I don't like when you arrive and it's what do we do? Where do we go?
Disorganization.
It's are we warming up? Are we not warming up? What court are we supposed to be on? And, and we've been to some where you're there and they're just kind of organizing it as you're there. And you're you had all these names ahead of time. You closed registration. why are we not like these 5 people over here, these 3 people over here? This is how everybody comes in and gets a number, a card, a color. I don't care. You know, I've run a lot of meets and competitions and, you know, maybe not pickleball tournaments, but I know how to run people.
Right.
And you have to be.
And events.
Yeah. You have to be extremely organized, especially when you have a lot of people and a lot of people that are coming from, you know, far away and they've traveled there. The last thing they need to do is get there and be like, well, what? Y'all don't even know what the hell you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you talked about the awards. I like that, but the thing that they can get wrong with that is taking too long. Award ceremonies that just drag on.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
That is such a good point. Like, say the name, say the place, move on. You know,
Right.
let the people take their pictures, but that's all we need. We don't need their life story and how long they've been playing pickleball.
No, but you also want to give them their moment to shine.
Sure.
Because it's an accomplishment that most people
That's right.
may not
And
ever have
having
again.
that brings it back to and having a place, like actually having the little boxes, the 1, 2, 3. They're not that expensive, folks. You know, and a backdrop. You know, that people are behind. Like, make it a thing. People are paying to be here.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
An experience.
And know your I guess know your environment, because having a pickleball tournament in July in Texas,
It's tough.
you've got to plan for that. You should know it's hot AF. If you don't have any shade, figure out how you're going to offer some shade, some cooling spots, and maybe even consider having like EMS on standby or someone with first aid.
We went to the one in for the Temple's Children's Museum. We like to do a lot of the fundraiser ones.
Yes.
And it was in May, and it was hot as hell in Texas, and they had coolers with wet towels that were in ice, and you would just go over there and they had them all provided, which was awesome.
Nice.
And then, you know, you just, oh my gosh, I even have a picture that the camera crew got of me like just praising Jesus.
I love that one.
Because it was the best low, what is the word I'm looking for?
Kind of like a low barrier offer, but
like such a,
it made a difference.
yes, such a difference. We were like, what?
Yeah.
What are these things?
And I don't expect you, like if I register, then maybe some free water, but I don't expect you just to be passing out water to everybody. But,
but the water stations.
Yes, the water stations are nice. And even at the Dink for Dementia one that we had, they had coolers on the ground that had ice and water so that
dunk
you could
your own?
Yeah, you could dunk your own towel in.
They had Gatorade.
Yes.
Water.
Element also sent free electrolyte packets.
And they had snacks everywhere.
Yes. So you had your protein, you had your electrolytes, they had water set up, you had shade.
And they had great music.
Yes.
Oh, so
the music was
that's
so
another.
good.
That is
so it made
another
it so much more fun.
necessity.
So much more
That's
fun.
a necessity. You got to get your music right. It's got to be something that people can bump along to. Not too loud.
It was like
not
80s,
too soft.
90s.
Yeah.
It was just enough.
No,
And-
I mean gangster rap. Okay, you know,
I'd like it.
in certain circumstances.
but I get it. I mean, I wouldn't play it at
It's
my
not
tournament.
for everyone.
But this last tournament was just so much fun. It was so laid back and everybody was just having a good time and it wasn't stressful. I also like when they don't overpack it. You know,
Right.
like I think in every industry, I get that it's, you know, a business and you need to make money. But even in the dance industry, I remember when it was getting to just be like they are accepting everybody no matter what. And we were at awards till 12:30 at night with some kids.
yeah, no.
And it was like getting to a point where it's like you have to have a cutoff so that the experience for the people that did get in and are there is a good experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you can have 100 entries and it be completely disorganized, and the next year you're not going to have that.
Yep.
Or you can have a good 50, make it amazing and a great experience, and then people are going to talk about it for a lot longer. So
Agreed.
Yeah, and know the math. You know, if you've got 10 courts and allowing 300 people, that's not going to work.
And
Your
if,
time frames.
if you are breaking it up, that's fine. Have 300 people, but break it up and don't make the 3-0s arrive there at the same time when they're not going to be there. Like they're not even competing till 5.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
if you're going to do it and stagger it, make sure you stagger, you know, the arrival times and things like that. And not everybody show up at 8 a.m. I'm like, I'm not playing till 1. Why the hell am I here?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
I
so-
agree.
And for those tournaments that don't do duper, letting people self-rate, you know, some of those tournaments will let you sign up in whatever position you think you are.
Yes.
And you get some sandbaggers in there too. People just want to body bag people and crush people on the
Yeah,
court.
that I don't really care about that. Like if you're a 4-0 and you want to go play in 2-5, have fun. Like it's not going to be very fun for you.
No, and you're just going to make yourself look like an ass.
Yeah. And I don't particularly care for the duper ones. Like
No.
I accidentally signed up for like 2 of them once, and the people are just too stressful for me.
Yes.
Like the fun fundraiser ones, they're fantastic.
Those are the best.
They're the best.
Yeah. Tell us what you think. Go over to bdepodcast.com or all of our socials and tell us what you think.
What's the website?
What is it?
bdepodcast.com. BDE Podcast. Hey, Jeff, it's bdepodcast.com, just so you know. Jeff's
We're going to make
producer.
it a drinking game. Every time Guy says bdepodcast.com, take a drink.
That's why we're growing, folks. That's why we're a grower, not a shower over here.
Okay.
All right. But what makes a great tournament in your mind, or what have you seen at tournaments you're like, holy crap, I can't believe they did this? Let us know over on the socials. You figure it out. I'm not going to tell you where to go. Another piece of mail from the mailbag. This one's from Lexi over on the Instagrams. She messaged us and said, I just love your videos. Well, of course you do, Lexi, and of course you do out there as well. Get all up in our socials and tell us what you love about our podcast.
At bdpodcast.com.
bdpodcast.com.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Quick pickleball wisdom in and out before you know it. So our friend Joel from Dink Ninjas is on the Dink and Dash app, and he gave us this awesome tip. This is a dinking tip. He says, vary your targets. Don't dink to the same spot repeatedly. Mix cross court, which is safer with more margin, and it pulls your opponent wider and down the line or the middle. Move your opponents around to create openings or force errors.
Love it. Go find him over at Dink Ninjas.
Just the tip.
It's time for Pickle Pals.
This is going to be a good one. I mean, they all are, but this one's going to be great. Our guest is a Masters National Swimming Champion, a competitive pickleball player, and a psychologist, so be careful what you say, who built a multi-location therapy practice from scratch. Dr. Amanda Sovik-Johnston is the founder of Active and Connected Family Therapy in Virginia, host of her own podcast, Active and Connected Families Podcast. Don't listen to that right now. Just listen to us and then go listen to that later. Mom of 3 boys, brings her athlete mindset to everything she does, from the pool to the pickleball court, and helping families heal and athletes. She's the Connecte competitor from Charlottesville, Virginia, Dr. Amanda Sovik-Johnston. Doc, thanks for being on the Big Dink Energy Podcast.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about pickleball. It's all I want to do.
Yeah, it does take up does it get in the way of your job like it does me?
Oh, 100%. That's why I'm starting a new job that's pickleball specific, because it's all I want to do.
Well, and so, knowing the players the way I know the players, at least here in the great United States of Texas, and seeing the different personalities on the court, you have a lot of work that can be done right there on a court.
Oh, I think there's so much to be done. And I'm actually a relationship expert. And so to me, the fascinating dynamics are what's happening between the partners, because you've got the sports psych and the performance psych, as well as the relational dynamic. It is so rich.
Yeah. And we've talked here on the podcast before. I think pickleball is the best absolute first date.
Oh, I would agree, but there's so much anxiety in that. It's so intimate so quickly.
Yeah, it is. But then you do really learn, like, oh, that guy's a little punchy. I'm not going to date him anymore. This is, or he doesn't handle adversity well, or he handles it really well and he gets along with people,
Or he has a terrible backhand, equally as important.
Exactly. And he doesn't dress. He doesn't have a sweatband on even. So I can't be with this guy. But let's back up just a little bit. So you're a competitive swimmer. You've won multiple titles in that. Tell us how you go from swimming to pickleball.
Guy, it was pretty easy. Someone handed me a pickleball paddle, and I'm not lying. I have not been in the water since I picked up a paddle. And I am a person who loves to compete. I love to race. I love to win. I love to push myself. And I was a good swimmer, right? And I just dropped it to become an average at best pickleball player, and I'm so happy with the decision.
Yeah, I cannot wait. We're only days away from Duper reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, we have a new 1.5 division. We want you to be part of."
Here we are.
Yeah. So you deal with a lot of high high achieving athletes, right? In a lot of different sports. Does the pickleball world help you in that, or just being competitive in nature, or kind of unpack that a little bit?
I think it is both and. So I think that because I'm competing regularly, I can talk to my clients really easily because I'm still thinking about sports all of the time. And I'm not going to lie, the athletes that I see are exceptional. I mean, beyond elite. And so what I can do is learn from them and take that into my pickleball practice. So sometimes I might pretend that I am a certain athlete walking onto the court with the confidence that I've helped them gather for their own performances.
I see. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that you deal with where there's obviously high pressure, there's burnout, there's identity issues in there. Do any of those resonate and then translate maybe to the pickleball court, or, what are your thoughts on that?
Of course. Okay. So I think that everyone is playing pickleball for different reasons, right? Some people are there for the social reasons. Some people are there because they want to compete. Some people are there because they just want to work on getting better at something. And I think that it's really important at the beginning of each day almost to figure out, what am I doing this for today, right? Because there are days that I go in and I'm like, I want to get better. Today I'm working on my forehand and I'm working on my partnership skills and I'm working today. And then there are other days that I go in and I'm like, I just need a laugh. I've been working too hard. I don't care how I play at all. And I just want to laugh my ass off, and I will. And so I think if you sort of know what you need and you go in looking for that, you're able to actually reduce your burnout and keep playing for a lot longer.
I love that. And in your practice, is it, take 2 of these and call me in the morning? Is it, would you prescribe pickleball for some of those athletes to come off the ledge a little bit and just decompress?
If you want the honest truth, they all want to play, but they can't because they're going to get injured, right? There is a little bit higher injury rate with pickleball because everyone wants to win. And so I've had some athletes essentially be training for something and get derailed by a sprained ankle from pickleball. So many of them are not allowed to play pickleball, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can see that. I was a high-performing military athlete, so to speak, when I was in, and it was really discouraged. Don't do anything outside of this. Later we're going to go jump out of planes, but don't do anything risky on your downtime, right? So, even playing football overseas in Europe was discouraged. So, yeah, I can see that mentality there. Is there one overarching or just one big mental skill that translates from athletics to entrepreneurship and just to life in general that you see?
So I think that for people over 40 and people that are playing pickleball, we don't have coaches anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have coaches. And one of the things that the best coaches instill in their athletes is a sense of belief. Like, I believe you can hit that backhand. I believe that your thirds can get better. I believe you can get yourself to a 4.0 duper if that's what you want. And a lot of times coaches see it before the athlete does. And the coach holds the belief and then gives that belief to the athlete. And I think in the absence of coaches, one of the most beautiful parts about pickleball is all of a sudden you have a partner who can instill the same type of belief in you, and you can instill the same type of belief in them, whether that's on the pickleball court, whether that is in entrepreneurship. Because ultimately, I'm an entrepreneur. And when I get stressed and when I feel overwhelmed with my job, I'll be damned if what I'm not saying to myself is, you won the 200 fly Masters National Championship. And if you can do that, you can have this difficult conversation. If you can do that, you can send out 10 pitches. If you can do that, you can do anything. And so I think that essentially pickleball allows you to have finally another person who can instill some belief in you and your capabilities. And then that can translate to the rest of your life, which I think is the most beautiful part about this sport that we're playing.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And, being an entrepreneur myself, I had to realize that sometimes I do need a coach. I need a business coach sometimes. I need someone to step in and have that good 30,000 foot view of where I am, because I'm so close to things, to give me different ideas. And I also think we all have a little bit of imposter syndrome no matter where we are in our life. We always think, well, this is, I can't achieve this, or here's a blocker, So I think pickleball is that one thing where you come to a court, you may know some of the people, you don't know them all that deeply, but you're having a shared experience surrounding so many of what we call the good chemicals, the endorphins, the dopamines, and all that. So I think that just helps people, no matter where they are in their life, to achieve greatness, so to speak, in their own life because they have this sport, pickleball.
Well, and I also think, if you laugh at pickleball and you achieve something at pickleball, those dopamines and your neurons are essentially priming yourself to do that again. So if I have a really funny moment on the pickleball court, I'm going to be more inclined to laugh for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's right.
I have prioritized putting joy on my calendar.
Yeah.
I have so much work to do and so many children. And essentially, I'm always like, no one is putting joy on my calendar if I don't put it on myself. So I am actively scheduling games. So I'm putting joy on my calendar, which then allows me to look for joy anywhere else in my life because I'm just so available to it by putting it on my calendar every day.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I learned early on. What gets scheduled gets done, right? So if I want to improve shooting, as an example, it better be on my calendar because I can't just say I want to do it. I have to actually put it on. Block out the time to go actually do the thing. And you brought up something really interesting that kind of along the lines of what we're talking about on your podcast about the loneliness epidemic. And I've said this forever. I don't think as a society, so to speak, we are ever supposed to be as connected virtually as we are. Correct. I think we are supposed to be connected in our tribes, in our groups, in our small areas. But the overwhelming connection we have to everybody at every time is kind of feeding into that loneliness because we're only creating virtual relationships and we're only creating virtual feelings now, and they're not actual feelings.
And I always say there's a loneliness epidemic, but not on the pickleball court.
Right. Yes.
Right. And it is so amazing the connections you are making with people that are different ages, from different backgrounds, different genders. It is so beautiful. But the real face-to-face connections, I think, is what has people coming back to pickleball. It just has to be because that's what we're wired to experience. And that's why we're all, how irresponsible are you when there's a good game? I am insanely irresponsible. If I'm like, there is a good game and they need a fourth, I will drop anything just to be there because biologically, that's what we are wired to do. It is connection. It is endorphins. It is moving our body. It is everything that we need as human beings are happening right there.
Yeah. I mean, you look at something so simple as like the serotonin, the connection, the mom and child, and just building those relationships by the connectivity. Because mom and child is easy to think about, but when you think about coaches and players, they get the same serotonin, and so they build those connections. And then that's what we're doing as players on the court with one another. We're building those connections there outside of virtual world, right? We're up out of our phone and we're actually looking at people and actually talking to people.
And you're also having real relationships. A lot of people assume my outside life assumes that my pickleball world is like this side part of my life. And I'm like, oh no, like that is just as important to who I am as a human being as everything else. And the relationships are in many ways deeper because they're so vulnerable, right? I had a meltdown yesterday on the court, right? I got hit like 17 times and I'm swearing at my partner, like, I'm so angry, and then I have to immediately go back and apologize and say, I'm so sorry I had that meltdown. And my partner's like, it's okay, you're good. But there is this piece of vulnerability that you experience because you're seeing people at their best and their worst, and you're having real repairs within that relationship. And that is what we are built to be doing. That is real vulnerability. And that is actually what's feeding our souls.
I think a lot of our listeners struggle with probably the same things you and I struggle with. How do I think about, or how can I make sure that my time and energy is prioritized? We kind of touched on it a little bit as far as what gets scheduled gets done, but are there any other tricks that you have for yourself or for our listeners of how do we prioritize these things?
I mean, I think you have to think about what is the most important to you in your life. And to me, when my kids are at school and I've taken care of my work stuff, the most important thing to my mental health and who I am is playing pickleball. So it's actually the first thing that I put on my calendar before everything else. Everything else I can sort of move around. Between the hours of 8 and 3, I put those pickleball games in.
Yep.
And I'm insane. I just asked people for 2 weeks from now if they would play a game with me. But if I know that that's locked in, then I can schedule my client meetings, my doctor's appointments, my kid pickups, all of that stuff. Be proactive and be brave in inviting people, because that's how you're going to feel your best.
Hey, listen, if you're over 40 and your body is starting to file complaints, we get it. We live it. From pickleball to peptides and everything in between. Between the four of us, we've spent years figuring out what actually works. And we put it all in one place for you at bdepodcast.com/over40. That's bdepodcast.com/over40. Now, back to the show. I love that. I count macros when I'm doing dieting and watching my food intake and all that. And one of the things that I do is kind of what you said. If I know I want some protein ice cream in my day, if I know I'm going to have that at night, I just put it in and it subtracts all the way out. So that's kind of what you're doing there is you put it on the calendar, 2 weeks out, and that's already accounted for then. And then I can build everything else I need to, the time and energy I need for other things. I can build that around that. And also that's, I'm going to get the endorphin rush by achieving that goal when I get to it and I can check it off the list. Like, I got this.
And it makes you more effective for the rest of the day, right? I have raging ADHD. I don't know if you could tell. And so my brain is going everywhere a million times a minute. But if I play pickleball in the morning, I can actually sit down and respond to emails. So ultimately, and maybe this is just a story I tell myself, but I'm a psychologist, so I will believe it, is that if I do my exercise first thing in the morning, 3 hours. It's a lot. I have high needs. 3 hours of exercise, way more productive the rest of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about, and tell our listeners a little bit more about Connecte Competitor. What is going on with that? Where is it now and where is it going?
Well, it is a very new business that I've started because I'm a sports psychologist and I'm a relationship expert. I'm a family therapist. And so what I love about pickleball is the intensity of the dynamics and the intensity of the competition. And I believe that if you can establish a really secure partnership, you're going to be able to play better pickleball because you're not worrying about the relationship so much. How many times do you walk on the court and all of a sudden you're like, oh, does my partner like me? Are they annoyed at that shot? Are they frustrated with me? You spend so much time worrying about the other player or being irritated with the other player. And you can't play your best when you're worrying about that stuff. So part of it is how do you become a better partner to help your partner play that best? And how do you also establish those relationships to get that noise out of there? If you've read The Inner Game of Tennis, which is a great sports psych book, it talks about self one and self two. And self one is kind of this critic that talks about, the shots that you're making. I think there's also a self one that gets in the way about the relationship. And so I'm really working to help people establish better relationships to play better pickleball.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Establishing a relationship with yourself and with and the players out on the court. Absolutely love that. I think that's going to be a huge takeaway for a lot of our listeners is allowing us to understand who we are and understand what our needs are and be okay with saying, yeah, I'm going to meet my needs today.
Oh, 100%. And also, how do we be better partners? So it turns out science says that you are a better partner if you are there for the celebrations and not as much the losses. It's actually about how you celebrate with your partner. Again, that's going back to belief. So there's all these little tiny skills that you can implement to become a better partner so that you're going to become a better pickleball player. But also, I think that just helps us in life, right? If we're a great pickleball partner, we're actually probably doing better in all of our relationships across the life. And this is just where we get to try that out. It's sort of our experiment to try new behaviors.
Yeah, I love that. So talking about the relationships and you talk about the family, if you had the magic wand and you waved it and you changed one thing about how families approach mental health, what would it be?
That's a great question. So the name of my business, and I started this business before I knew about pickleball. But the name of my business is called Active and Connected Family Therapy, because I think that we all thrive when we're active. And that means we're being intentional about who we are and intentional about the choices that we're making and connected to each other. So I think that if as families, you can really work on being active about who you want to be and active in the world and connected, we're all going to do better. It's just such an uphill battle right now. It is such an uphill battle. But if you can keep those two words in and prioritize them, you will be so much better.
Yeah, being Gen X, obviously the best generation ever. For me, we didn't have all the distractions. Kids have so many things competing for their attention nowadays, let alone their family and all the dynamics that go along with that. And so I think we got to get your face out of a screen. We've got to get you outside, get you on a pickleball court. And just like the first date, it's the same thing with the family dynamic too. We learn how to handle adversity. We learn how to handle triumph. We learn how to handle being with one another and working as a team. I think there's so many benefits there.
And one of the things I say, Guy, is that there is a mental health crisis right now, right?
Absolutely.
People are not happy and there is a mental health crisis. So if you are doing things the way that everyone else is doing things, then you're actually going down a path that's going to lead you to worse mental health, right?
Yep.
Because if everyone is unhappy and you're doing what they're doing, you're likely going to be unhappy. So I used to apologize for the amount of pickleball that I was playing, and now I revel in it because I know that I am doing something that brings me joy. I'm happier than a lot of people I know. I have to deal with pushback. I have to deal with guilt. I have to deal with some, I miss a lot of texts and I don't always put the laundry away in my house, but I'm happy and I'm healthy. And I think that's because I'm willing to deal with the things that other people are not willing to deal with in order to keep myself that way.
Yeah, that's so important. And it makes me, like, one of the things that I love with my faith is I know I get an abundance of love every single day. And to me, that means I have more than enough so that I have enough to give away. And likewise, in the case that you're saying, when you put joy into yourself, a lot of times it's a abundance of joy. So you have more to give away. You're filled up to the top. So now whatever is left over, I can give away freely to people. It just sounds...
And it's not like woo-woo. It's actually in your neurons. It's the way brain chemistry works. And so really it is, you are looking for joy and then you're primed for joy and you're primed to give joy away in your neurons.
Yeah. When I'm filled with joy, I'm more likely to give joy to somebody else or make sure they can achieve joy as well.
Such a gift.
Okay, so how can our listeners connect with you? Where do they need to go? All the socials. I know they're going to be wanting to reach out to you.
So you can follow me on Instagram at The Connected Competitor.
Okay.
Also on the website, www.theconnectedcompetitor.com. And those are the two primary places that I am right now. You can get my website. You can get my email there. You can read all of my blogs about partnership and, watch my reel about how I flicked off my opponents, whatever you need to do, you're there for it. But there's going to be a lot of good tips coming out around how do you be a better partner and how can you help your partner do their best? And then they will also then give that to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda, for being on the Big Dink Energy Podcast. Love having you. Please go find her on all her socials, connect with her, and get yourself some joy.
That's right. Thank you.
It's time for Pick Six.
For those of you playing along at home, Pick Six is where we take one question and we each bring two answers and immediately regret to all of this. This week's Pick Six is bad or inappropriate times to recommend pickleball. Bad or inappropriate times to recommend pickleball. What you got?
I would say during a heated argument.
I like it.
Like you're about to throw them bows and it's like,
hey, have you tried pickleball?
When someone says that they're going through a lot and they're burned out.
Yes.
Have you tried pickleball?
Have you tried pickleball?
You want to try something else? Add something else to your calendar.
For me, it's one of the best places to find loose women, single women, is at a funeral. But at a funeral would be, hey, you know what would cheer you up?
They would really love to pickleball.
Yeah.
I would say during a breakup.
Yeah.
That's
it's not
good.
me, it's you.
Yeah.
But have you tried pickleball?
It's because you don't play pickleball. Mine is during jury duty.
Ooh, that's a good one.
He's the murderer.
I can't come to jury duty today. I have pickleball.
Oh, I thought it was like, he's the murderer. Let's go play pickleball.
Can
You probably kill it out there.
I'll handle the dad jokes if that's okay with you.
Okay, fine.
I know
We've
it's
got our own.
getting close
Donate.
after Mother's
I
Day.
have so much more funnier than he has.
At an AA meeting, hey, you want to get addicted to something?
Trade one addiction for another. Love that.
That's a good one.
Find us wherever we are on any social platform and tell us bad or inappropriate times to recommend pickleball.
At bdepodcast.com.
News you can use.
News you can use at the water cooler. What if I said Hawaiian skate rat stuns the pros?
Huh?
Yeah.
What if you stopped giving us quizzes?
Tama Shambukuru, the 15-year-old from Honolulu, easy for you to say, is going full skateboard to pickleball pipeline, making the pros sweat. Gonna make you. Before pickleball, he was skateboarding sensation. Now he's dropping jaws on a PPA tour, recently stunning bigger names like Federico Staxrud and others in upsets that have everyone calling him the kid. No formal coach, no big junior circuit, just raw talent, Hawaiian chill, and the ability to dink with the precision of someone who probably learned board control before walking. Yeah, just coming right out of the
That's pretty
Well,
cool.
they have a lot of agility if you can do skateboarding, like hand-eye coordination, hand-foot coordination.
I'd be out there doing ollies and stuff like that right before my pickleball
Okay,
matches.
Yeah, of
Tony
course
Hawk.
you would.
Okay, Tony Hawk.
Oh, geez. Can you find anybody older in skateboarding?
I know Tony Hawk
That's
for
the name you
skateboarding,
know.
Wayne Gretzky for hockey. Those are my two go-tos.
Hey, Tony Hawk is, I think, moving to Waco.
Actually, he was in Waco.
He was in Gatesville the other day.
Yeah, he was in Waco a couple weeks ago, and he took one of his skateboards, signed it, and just left it somewhere.
That's
Love that.
right.
That's so cool.
That is really cool.
Love it.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, he was at the Caffeinated
I sign
Baker.
stuff all the time and leave it. Nobody ever picks it up.
Nobody
Yeah.
cares about your
no
trash.
one cares, guy. No one cares.
Nobody cares about your trash.
Pick up your trash. You're littering. This is Texas.
They're mainly headshots. I leave them everywhere.
If you're like, oh, this is 20 years old.
Right?
We don't need that one.
Okay, calm down.
That's pretty interesting, though. He hasn't had any formal training. So
Yeah.
imagine how good he could be with some training.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's how it is with me, too. Like, imagine how good
Right.
I could be with some training.
I imagine how good you can be in a lot of things with
If I
that
had some
formal training.
training.
English
If I-
language,
If I
anything.
focused. Not comedy, though.
No, you're the best at it.
Love
You're
it.
the best at it.
I hate him.
Hey, did I tell you about that? Did I tell you about that guy who was naked and satin glitter? Pretty nuts.
Oh, God.
Too far, guy.
bdpodcast.com. That's it for this episode. Unless you've got something to say, think we got it wrong, have a better take, we want to hear it. Find us at bdepodcast.com or at bdepodcast on the socials. Drop us a message. We might just feature you in the next episode. If you had a good time, well, samesies. If not, maybe try again. We grow on people. So you know the deal. Follow the show, tell a friend, and leave us a review. Or just pretend this never happened. Until next time, keep the dink soft and the energy big.